welcome, Lynx here, and this is Useless Demon Lord. That's right. Being a little different to the useless goddess we all know. And maybe I actually like that useless goddess, not gonna lie. The studies for the Demon Lord continued for the rest of the week. That's right, we left it there Thursday, then we left it until Friday, which is now apparently in her world. This does give me quite the same feeling of relief that Fridays gave when I was still in college. Their Tress's classes aren't so bad, and weekends here without my usual internet distractions, man, mean total boredom. Total boredom punctuated by occasional brief pokes of jealousy whenever I remember how Tress spends her time after school. Forget I said that. Anyway, the reasons the scene didn't just immediately cut back to me angsting around my room yet again, don't worry, we'll definitely get back to that soon enough, is that I'm picking up signs of a fight nearby. Both with my ears and with the whole knowing where everyone is within the castle thing. Now, what on earth are Zen and Gami getting up to over there?
Come on, I know we can bleed, or anything but at least pretend to look injured, will ya? Nah.
What's going on here?
Oh, hey boss, we're just laying out, don't worry about us or anything. She's trying to kill me again, but that's okay. Oh, you little joker, slime has such a great sense of humor, don't they?
What a weird situation I found myself in. Okay, I would advise against attempting to take the lives of your fellow generals.
No, you don't understand. This blobby fella fucking invincible. Invincible to everything but loneliness. I'm like a little bunny. I'll die if I'm alone for too long. Damn, that's really true. Knew I should have bumped that one up here on my list of things to try. Nope, I lied. Yeah. See, what I tell ya? A real sense of humor.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, boss, you ought to try something too.
Hey, what? You mean say I should attack them?
Yeah, no, it's okay. None of the past bosses were able to damage him, so just go ahead and go out. It's true! I told you I'm strong!
In that case, it simply sounds like a waste of time and energy.
Cost it, but it's like there's anything else to do these days. My cards get all itchy when I can do a violence or two every once in a while, and it's been ages since the last big battle.
I would rather not attack a subordinate without reason, regardless of how indestructible they might be. Yep, that's the excuse I'm going with. Even if I want to attack Gami, I don't have a clue how to use magic for combat, and I'd rather not make a fool of myself here. Especially not in front of Zen. She seems like the type who would never let me live it down for as long as the Demon Lords live for. Maybe I'll ask Tress for magic lessons later as a reason to hang out with her some more.
Buh. Oh, you're so nice, Lucy! Already nickname basis with the boss, huh? Man, you can't get away with anything just cause you're cute, aren't ya? Huh? Not I'm jealous or anything. Oh, you're nice too, Zenny. You'll pay for that insult!
If there is no real danger here, then should I just leave them to it? Maybe. I flop down face first onto my bed, free from studies for the moment, but lonely and bored again, and nearly the instant my nose hits the covers. Maybe I shouldn't have left Zen and Gami so soon. As on edge as the mystery of demon social norms puts me, it's still better than this. I've been in this world for a little bit more than a week now, 9 days to be exact, as indicated by the markings on the now enchanted automatic calendar. It works! Let's go! But I'm not sure if this time went by quickly or if it felt like ages. Now speaking of demons. Tress. She's pretty nice, isn't she? Zen is more how I'd imagine demons to be, but Tress throws these stereotypes out the window. I was worried that I'm bothering her, but she really readily assures me that, no, I'm not. Assuming she's telling the truth, she puts up with a lot more from me than I deserve. I suppose Gami's friendliness would also throw those stereotypes out of the same metaphorical window, but It's different when it's a cute girl, you know. Call it the lesbian bias. Actually, you could also call it straight bias, to be fair. If you talk about me, for example. Not that I can expect those gay feelings of mine to go anywhere, but I'm feeling with that. Honestly, I am. I mean, even setting aside the fact that she's got those partners of hers that I could hardly hope to live up to, I'm pretty used to tempering my expectations when it comes to these things. I'm certainly not about to lose any sleep over it, that's for sure. The first concern on my mind is actually something more along the lines of feeling bad at being the useless boss that she, a very in-demand and capable lady, has to babysit. She's nearly perfect in a lot of ways, but not the thing about it. It can also be difficult to get an actual read on her. As approachable as she is, she doesn't emote much, and casual and open as she is, she still mostly keeps her personal thoughts out of our conversations. Except for when it comes to that previous demon lord, she clearly hated the dude. I'm really not one to talk, for I've been keeping up the biggest front of my life since the moment we first met. Maybe she finds me just as difficult to read as I do her, with how I'm constantly hiding all my fears and insecurities. Wait, no. My front is flimsy as hell. I can't forget those times. I've acted like a flustered schoolgirl with an obvious crush in front of her. She's even acknowledged my behavior before. To make matters worse, I couldn't tell if her reaction was light-hearted, teasing, because she was flattered, or if she was only drawing attention to it as an indirect way to get me to stop. I'm dull as an ancient sword at the bottom of a magic lake when it comes to this subject. I can't comprehend the idea of anyone being anything but grossed out by my attraction for them. But what if?
Oh, Lady Lucille, your attention flatters me so. Perhaps there is something I can do for you in return.
The poorly drawn threats in my mind says in an uncharacteristically seductive tone. Let's not get too carried away here.
I ask nothing in return, however such a title is far too stiff. You may simply call me Lucy from now on.
Responds the poorly drawn me, who was more suave than I could ever be.
Wow, handsome, adorable, and humble, come here you!
No wait, isn't this going off the rails too quickly? Bring it on!
Woohoo! Doesn't holding hands feel great?
Stop. Unsolicited fantasizing has its limits. I feel like such a creep, call me neurotic, but even just this feels like an abuse of trust. Wouldn't she be horrified if she knew I was having these thoughts? Really, just because she's a little bit nice to me. Ed made one joke about me being maybe kinda somewhere near the vicinity of her strike zone. I had to go and get carried away. And there I was, saying I didn't expect anything. I think I'm just going to go to bed early after all. I didn't yesterday and I feel like crap. Sometimes I struggle to do or say even basic simple things. Call it executive dysfunction or call it something more. The fact is that certain things that normal people take for granted totally escape me. I can't explain the logic or reasoning behind it, even I don't fully understand it, but sometimes an explanation is required. Humans spend their entire lives coming to an understanding of what the word normal means for themselves and of the people around them. Inevitably, people like me aren't going to mesh with that understanding, and not everyone has their time or patience to learn. Why can't you do something so simple? What do I say? How can I sum up my experiences and my own normal in a way that they can justify substituting for their own, if even for a moment? So the only response I can give is a simple, I don't know. Of course that's never good enough. Why not? How can I not know? Best I can figure is, if something doesn't come naturally to me from the start, I just can't do it. I kinda understand that. Simple tasks, simple social interactions, simple words that could make someone feel better when they're hurting. Simple indeed, but I nevertheless simply can't do them. I zone up, I clan up, I withdraw into myself, and even if I force myself outside my comfort zone before the arbitrary switch in my head decides that I'm ready, I gain nothing from it. Lesson learned disappeared from my head within a week. Each new experience becomes just as terrifying the 10th time as it was the first. If it doesn't come naturally, it's not worth remembering. To my brain, or something along those lines. I became an adult years ago, but in comparison to everyone else, I feel like an incompetent child. Funnily enough, I feel like I acted more mature earlier than everyone else. But I feel like I did not end up more mature than everyone else. Something like that. I don't know, I feel like my approach became more laid back with time, basically. Something like this. It took me 20-something years to come to terms with this part of myself. To start trying to figure out a rhyme or a reason, any kind of pattern at all, for this incompetence of mine. I came across explanations for sure, words for people like me and what I was experiencing. Words I tried to use to explain myself to people I trusted, who took them as the ammunition to turn against me. In those years, the otherwise completely harmless words, "why not?" have burned themselves into me. Why not? I don't know why not. I don't know why not. I just don't know. I slept like crap last night. If this was me back home, that'd just be par for the course, hence the dark circles under my eyes. But here, all things considered, even with those few late nights lying awake and terrified of the dark, I had at least felt refreshed when I woke up each morning. Must be this new body. Even if the dark circles aren't going away, for some reason, I'm otherwise much more healthy and flexible than I could have ever dreamed of. Dreamed of, huh? Alright, I had some sort of dream last night. Don't really remember it, for just a vague feeling of frustration at the end. Maybe that's why I feel so drained. Is there such a thing as prophetic dreams in this world? It's possible, right? I'm getting a bad feeling about my future now, so I wish I could remember what that dream was about. Maybe I'm just paranoid. The bad feeling certainly isn't enough to dampen my eagerness for breakfast today. The food here is so good. The eagerness to see Tress again soon too. That is, if she doesn't already have weekend plans. She's not here today. Well, time to go back to thinking about that bad feeling after all. Unfortunately, it started to become quite clear that the relaxed pace of my first few days wouldn't be the standard, at least not for a while. At the moment, while I'm still catching up, there will be apparently quite a few things I would expect to take charge of eventually. I can't start feeling jealous of the other generals who still seem to have nothing to do for, cause they'll be busy again too, soon enough. Everyone will have to do their part. Dragging a small nation back up to its former glory won't be easy. I'm still trying not to think about the strong possibility of being involved in war or power struggles in the near future. As you can see, I prefer to mentally set aside future problems for future me. If I didn't do this, then I'd probably use my mind from the anxiety. Living wholly in the present. Even if I'll end up paying for it later, just focusing on the fact that I'm healthy and living comfortably for now. Focusing as well as I can on my studies, which I'm still not quite grasping, but Tress hasn't lost her patience with me yet, so... Nope. Living the present. It's Saturday. Oh, how I wish it was Saturday here too. 2 whole days of weekend ahead of me. That's practically forever, right? For better or worse.
Hey, Lucy! Catch!
What? I suddenly snapped out of the haze of my thoughts by Gumby's call as they fling something directly at my head at such a high speed that I can't even tell what it is. I reflexively tense up in preparation for impact, and a sensation of some sort envelops me. It's tingly, as if I'm suddenly covered in cling wrap that's vibrating so fast that I can feel it buzzing in my bones. Then with a mysterious sound, the projectile harmlessly bounced off my face. Oddly enough, I don't actually feel it, but even so. Pia! A short, very undemon lordly squeal escapes my lips.
You were supposed to catch it in your mouth!
I looked down at the deadly object that splopped softly down to my plate. It was a bread roll. Oh. Whoops. The weekend sure passed by quickly, didn't it? Like always. Not that now is a good time to be idly thinking about that for. You see, something a lot more interesting than my usual dull introspective music is happening right now.
You're a dead demon, Lord, aren't you? How bold of you to come right out and face me rather than hiding behind your underlings! I could say the same to you, hero. Mine's the part about the underlings, of course. Although perhaps in your case, the fact that you came without any companions may be more foolish than bold. Ah! As if I'd be swayed by such unfounded confidence! It's so that you demons have long since been declared by your kingdom! I mean our kingdom! So roll over, taste my blade, little kitty!
Little kitty, huh? Sounds more like a bedroom taunt than a battlefield one. But wait, before I get too ahead of myself here, you're probably wondering how and why I'm able to act so confident in a situation like this all of a sudden? Well, I can tell you, but I'll have to put our climatic encounter on hold for a little while to do so, if that's alright with you. That's right, it's time for a flashback. It all started yesterday. I voiced my concerns to Tress about my lack of experience with combat magic, and she agreed that some hands-on practical training would do me some good. As such, we've relocated from the usual lounge to the room where I was first summoned. Apparently, despite the functional importance of this room, there is no danger of it being damaged by misfired spells or the like.
So, from what I hear from the mates, you've already begun getting used to some basic spellcasting lately?
It does seem to come rather naturally to me, indeed.
Yes. Very natural indeed, considering that what you're doing is pretty far beyond the capabilities of everyone else in the castle.
Hey, wait, really?
I'll keep the explanations brief so we can get to the practical training that we're here for, but basically what you're doing is known as royal magic. Simply put, magic only used by those recognized as a notable leader. Congrats on that. By the way, capable of affecting things anywhere within your domain, rather than just things you can see, as the case with the regular magic.
The fact that this power comes from being recognized makes me feel a little bit less like a fraud, at least. I'll leave that thought there before the impostor syndrome starts to creep up on me again. I think back to the enchanted pen in my room, crossing off dates unattended. If something like that could be considered exceptional, then I guess I need to relearn my basic ideas of magical common sense.
The line of sight restriction is a rather major one for the average magic user, so I look forward to seeing what you come up with in the future. Automation, teleportation, long-range spells and curses. Royal magic is a valuable thing to have, so take pride in it.
Yeah, there is all that. And then there is also, the thing with the pen, apparently.
I must stress that you can never teleport yourself, for spells draw mana from their caster, obviously, and if said caster is suddenly not around to draw from, well, not even royal magic could stop the teleport spell from failing midway, and you certainly don't want to experience that.
Wait, you have to stay in one place. Interesting. That's kinda weird. Unless you would get a portal that would have some kind of source, and you cross that portal, and the portal stays until the source is drained, and we are not the source, maybe that would work. Anyway.
Setting all that aside for the time being, we'll be focusing on magic of the non-royal variety today.
What a morbid topic to suddenly set aside so easily. At least I won't be forgetting that warning anytime soon.
There is one more basic function of magic you should be aware of. I'm going to hit you now. Get ready!
Wait, what? A familiar sensation envelops me as Tress materializes a stake-like shape of pure white light in her right hand and pitches it at me as if it's a physical object. It breaks apart in the air, splintering into numerous glowing needles that arc outwards and then towards me with a laser-like speed and precision. Even if I get enough time to react and start expecting any pain to come, it doesn't. Once again, though, I can definitely sense that impacts are happening. I don't actually feel any of them. For this time, I'm going to assume that those projectiles were a bit more dangerous than a playfully tossed bread roll.
Yep, learning by doing really is the best way.
Hey? Learning by doing what? What was that? While dropping the mischievous smile, Tress steps closer to me, her long hair and skirt swishing as she does so. She then reaches a hand up towards my face and flicks me on the forehead. Or at least she flicks whatever barrier it is that's covering me. Hehehe, what a cute sound. Is that me, or has she started to enjoy messing around with me during our lessons? She might have started doing that, yeah? Who knows? Anyway, this is what's no... no. Anyway, this is what's known as a shell. All humans and demons have it, supposedly as a gift from the gods to even the odds between us and monsters. Keeps battles with significant differences in strength from all ending in death from a single blow, you see. At least that's the idea, but we demons don't have much reason to fight monsters anymore. So that's what that was. I will refrain from letting her know the circumstance behind the first time I experienced this particular ability. Now, hopefully, I'm not overloading you too much. The do's and don'ts here, but there are a few caveats to the usage of the shell. Most importantly, the shell will only activate when you're actually currently alert and aware of the danger at hand. It won't save you from being poisoned or stabbed in the back by an unknown attacker. Lots of new morbid thoughts to chew on today. Well, guess we have to create a new shell then. Automatic defense. Besides that, you'll also need to keep in mind that mana is consumed every time the shell is struck, and if it breaks, you're not going to be able to repair it for quite a while. So if that ever happens, and it really only takes a single puncture for the whole thing to shatter, you have to retreat immediately, understand? Yes, I'll remember that. So it's not an infallible defense. I imagine there are plenty of people who will still wear regular armor as well, in the occasion that their shell breaks. Good! As a demon lord, you should have enough mana to keep your shell up through half an army's strongest blows. But with the split that you may be lacking more than just knowledge from your incomplete summoning, it can't hurt to be careful. And so, the practical lesson continued. As it turned out, I've actually got quite the knack for this stuff. Maybe just the fantasy nerd in me, but I had no trouble imagining a spell for any situation that came up in our training. And my healthy new mind and body kept me sharp and ready to react even in the thick of things. I managed to push Tress back a couple times in our sparring, for I strongly suspect that's only because she was going easy on me. And so that leads us back to the current situation. Thanks to Zen's scouting, Intel can confirm that this hero is indeed alone, and also that while she isn't a pushover, she's definitely underleveled for this encounter, so to speak. I've been assigned to take her on myself to get some real experience, but if stuff starts to go south, then the others are on standby in the halls nearby. For the first time in a while, my confident demon lore isn't completely unjustified, and I'm actually a bit excited. The layers of protection around us remove the stakes, and even if a real sword pointed at me, I can just let loose. Feels kinda like a very advanced new VR game or something. Never played a VR game, to be honest. It's also surreal, but I don't exactly have the time to ruminate on any of the deeper implications here. The two of us circle each other at a safe distance without saying a word. I don't know what she's capable of yet, so I'm waiting for her to make the first move, because that just seems like the thing to do, I guess? This goes on for a rather awkwardly long time, and while she's clearly raring to go, she still hasn't taken a step forward yet. I decide to give her a bit of encouragement with a mocking gesture. Call me rude, but in fighting games I was always a big fan of intentionally annoying my opponent to make them play sloppier. Heh. I also always sucked at fighting games. Regardless, it works. Even from the distance, I can hear her clicking her tongue in annoyance, and she finally starts to rush in. Her footwork is sure, and her first overhead slice clearly has a lot of power behind it, but it's extremely straightforward and predictable. All I have to do is take one step out of the way. Easy peasy. She follows the first slash up with several more like it from different angles, but each is equally as readable as the last. Now that I've got the hang of the timing of her movements, it's time for a counterattack! With one wave of a hand, I'm surrounded by a ring of shadowy orbs of magic. I could conjure up any element I wanted, but I picked something dark for thematic consistency. As a magic user, my moves aren't nearly as predictable as hers. What these orbs will do next is anyone's guess, and the hero clearly isn't very confident in her guessing abilities. Now, Let's put that early confidence of yours to the test, shall we? I can't help but spout lame one-liners. Having access to cool magic powers sure does change me. Magic against blade. Blade against magic. Lots of magic and even lots of blades at one point, just getting a bit creative with my spells here. Lots of... well, sure is a lot. Honestly, the fight has started to drag on a bit, but I'm willing to admit that this is my fault. I still don't feel like I'm hitting my limits yet, and while the hero's swordplay is certainly skillful and flashy, even the strikes that land just bounce right off my shell. At this point I'm a bit ashamed to admit this, but I've simply been toying with her. Experimenting with my magic as I steadily up the intensity of each cast, but without ending the fight too soon. I'm clearly not in danger, so I let myself get carried away and, God forbid, start having fun with this. But it started to sound more and more like I'm really an actual villain in the scenario, and that doesn't quite sit right with me. Time to wrap up! The hero is disarmed and pinned down by shadowy bindings, and more thematically appropriate dark energy crackles in my hand, held over her head. The match is over. She can't break free no matter how much she struggles. Her shell was easily shattered by my last fight, and all that's left is to... Hey? What comes next exactly? Kill her. Wait, no. The messy image of what would happen if I cast this last spell suddenly flashes through my mind. My tonal shit hits hard. I've seen plenty of gory video games and movies, but that's nothing compared to the sickening thought of seeing that much blood in front of me in real life. What have I been thinking? This is obviously not a game. Why did I ever think to treat her like that? Sorry, treat it like one.
You! Let go!
The hero pulls uselessly at her bins, tries to pull herself off the ground, or to where her sword lies several feet away, or even towards me, perhaps desperately trying to get at least one last feeble hit on me. The look on her face is gradually shifting from defiance to panic and dread. If I let loose the spell in my hand, all that life and movement and emotion will be snuffed out instantly. Nothing left but a body to be disposed of, likely unceremoniously by one of the castle's servants. I can do this, but I have to, right? Nobody said the hero had to die, but nobody said anything about letting her live either. The fight is clearly over, yet the generals, who I know are waiting just outside the room, haven't come in to, I don't know, send her out? I absolutely didn't think about what was supposed to happen when this was over. What do I do now?
So if you're gonna kill me, just do it already!
Her eyes squeeze shut, and she starts to cry. A warrior with her resolve broken, a grown woman just blubbering like a child. No, duties and expectations be damned, this is so wrong. No more.
Well?
It should be enough, right?
Boring! I can see some blood. Why the hell did you let her go? Coward!
Zen scoffs and leaves with a bored look on her face, as if this was something as mundane as just watching a movie that ended before the climax. Even Tress, who has always been the most supportive of my lack of competence, just has a blank expression on her face. I've disappointed her too, haven't I? Obviously, I couldn't do it. I teleported the hero out to the front gate of the castle. Without her sword or the mana to keep up her shell, she has no reason to do anything but leave and go home.
You did well enough for your first real fight, I suppose.
Empty words of encouragement. Alright, I get it. I turn to leave, clumsily attempting to maintain what little semblance of dignity I have left. Around the nearest bend in the hallway, Chris is leaning up against the wall. I didn't realize he was there. He must have been watching the fight separately from the others. I turn my head down, away, and start to slightly pick up my pace as I walk past, but... Hey. I stop, but don't turn to look at him.
You made the right choice. I speak of experience when I say that not holding back in a situation like that would bring you nothing but regrets for as long as you still have a heart. I wouldn't usually be saying anything about this, but as far as demon lords go, you're a good person, Lucille. Regardless what the others may expect of you, there is no reason to throw that part of yourself away if you don't have to. Go get some rest now.
That may be the most verbose I've heard Chris be, yet. I don't know if his words make me feel any better, but regardless, I give a stiff nod before leaving. I'll do the same. I don't bother to reignite the lights in my room. I'm not in a stage to care about my usual fear of the dark. Insert a line about it being an analogy to the darkness in my heart or something. Shit, I do know. But in fact, with no light sources or windows, the room should be pitch black, yet I still can see somewhat. Knowing what I know about fantasy races and how eyes would have to work to see in complete darkness. Yep, when I look in the mirror, I see two faintly glowing red lights gazing back at me. It's a common trait that seems to be shared by all demons. So well, perhaps it goes without saying at this point, I really have become one of them, haven't I? I can't help but wish that this transformation could have altered my mind in some way too. Something to toughen me up, making so I wouldn't feel like throwing up right now. But no. Regardless of the new body, I'm just the same me as always inside. I'm not cut out for this job at all. Someone like me struggles to even kill a spider. No matter how much I hate them, I can't believe I was about to do the same thing to a person. Comparing a real fight to a game, huh? How stupid and childish of me. Not much more to do now but try to sleep, and hope that the hero's despairing face doesn't show up in my nightmares. I mean, you still didn't kill her, so you should sleep like alright, I would say. But yeah, we'll see what others might be still thinking about the whole situation the next episode. Maybe we'll see, maybe we'll not. We'll find out tomorrow. Also, do not. Maybe we'll have more encounters like that. For now, though, hope you enjoyed. If you did, as per usual, consider liking the video. Tell me what you would think in her shoes. You become Demon Lord. You defeat the hero in a fight. Do you slay them? Do you let them go? I would let them go, to be honest. Especially since it seems we are immensely overpowered. Oh yeah, subscribe you, of course. You know, your presence around would be very appreciated. And it's always nice to see more people, you know, being around here. Oh, it's always nice. Also, if you're into stuff like Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, I'm there. You can find me there. Links in the description as per always, to be fair. The game is also linked in the description. It's $4.69 on itch.io. Feel free to buy it yourself as well, if you can. That's it. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.